every team has a player that they look at, and or at least the fans that they look at, and they think that, okay, this dude could be the building piece of our future. This guy could really transform our franchise around, blah blah blah, all the hope stuff you want to put out there. For the Las Vegas Raiders, it's tough for me to pinpoint down one specific player because Davante Adams is getting up there in age, and even though, yes, he's still a really good wide receiver, still the best, arguably, in the NFL. No one's throwing stones here at Davante Adams. I love me some DA. However, I think that when we talk about the most promising building piece, we're talking about a young player that was either drafted relatively high or at least that has shown out really quickly, guys like Max Crosby. I think that we have to take a look at the full grand scope of things. And so when it came up for me, and I think the Raiders out there, I think it really is Tyree Wilson that is the most promising building block for the Las Vegas Raiders for a lot of different reasons. Number one, you've got a guy like Max Crosby on the opposite end of him that, yes, he's going to teach him some things. He's definitely going to show him the ropes, and that's going to be a really good thing. But overall, Chandler Jones is not going to be in front of this guy forever. I think that Chandler Jones probably is going to spend his last year with the Raiders here. It would be unfortunate, but I believe it's going to be the reality of the situation that we're living in. And I love Chandler Jones. I think he's an absolute stud, or at least potentially a future Hall of Famer. I think his best football is unfortunately behind him, but I still think Tyree Wilson can learn something from him. And yes, Tyree Wilson, he literally has all of the talent in the world. We have covered it ad nauseum. He's like 6'7". He's got long arms, like an 84-inch wingspan. This dude's a condor. I think he's still growing too. That's the crazy thing about him, is I think he's still going to be a guy that maybe you could have him in on a NASCAR package. I think that if you want to talk about the identity of the Las Vegas Raiders, I think you have to talk about Max Crosby and soon to be Tyree Wilson, mainly because of the fact of all the different things he brings to your franchise. I think he's bringing a young, tantalizing, and really encouraging defensive player to a defense that, quite honestly, has not been anything to write home about. So Tyree Wilson, for me, I think talking about the Raiders is the building block because of all of the different reasons that we mentioned. But also, I think, you talk about being a top 10 pick, especially coming after a lackluster year off like that. Yeah, it wasn't great. And I think especially if you have two playmakers at the defensive end position, that makes an NFL team a lot more likely to have a better defensive team. And that's really the biggest concern for the Raiders moving forward. Now, will they get a quarterback? Will Josh Jacobs remain a Raider? All these different questions. I think we'll get answers to those as we go along here. But if we want to talk about the building of a franchise, if we want to talk about building of something special here, I think in some cases you have to start defensively. And I'm excited for Tyree Wilson. I think you're going to see a guy that is very versatile, like I said before, being able to play on the inside and also the outside. But athletically, I think he could be the next Julius Peppers. I absolutely believe that. I think he's got the speed, the size to do a lot of different things that not a lot of NFL players can do. And I think that's what makes him special, and I believe that's what makes him the most promising building block for the Las Vegas Raiders. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. Thank you guys so much for all the support you've given us and all that. But at the end of the day, let us know what you guys think about the Raiders' most promising building block in defensive end, Tyree Wilson.